Applying for Singapore PR can feel like mystery. You hear so many stories, yet everything is unsure. Some say it's all about luck. Others believe it's more about documents means higher chances. The truth, most people don't get rejected because they are unqualified. They just don't understand how the system really works. Hi, I'm Lucas.
And hi, I'm Abby, and we're from Heritage Immigration. In this video, we'll clear up the biggest myths about PR applications, share with you the mistakes to avoid, and what really matters.
So Abigail, what are the most common myths people believe about applying for PR?
One of the biggest myths is that PR approval is random. So it's not. We look for patterns, consistency, contribution, and clarity. And most rejections happen not because people are unqualified, but it's because they're not being coherent with the story. So PR is how well you frame your life to align with Singapore's long-term vision. And that's what we help our clients do.
Yeah, I mean, we can confidently say this because many of our successful clients were approved on the first try.
Yeah.
And of course, because we actually prepare a lot of case studies to replicate all these approvals.
Yeah. All right. Is it true that more documents equal a better chance? And why or why not?
Not exactly. Reason being is because, example, let's talk about testimonials in terms of documents. If you have like 50 testimonials, all saying the same thing, coming from the same group of people, they might defeat the purpose. So people think uploading 50 documents means showing more effort, but effort and clarity are the same thing. Less is more when you include tells your story with purpose. And that's where our process focuses on strategic curation and not just about document dumping. So Abigail, are salary and risk significant when compared to other factors?
I think one thing that people tend to get wrong is when we help with the applications, right? We usually kind of stratify them based off of who's similar to them already. I believe ICA does have their ways of distributing based on different types of people, right? But I think when it comes to a case-by-case application, it's always about the individual and not so much like just in general, because if so, all of our approvals would be the same type of person,
I agree.
right? But that's not the case. So
They are different archetypes.
different archetypes.
Yeah,
That's right.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. So if an application is rejected, is it game over? What are the next steps?
Definitely no. I mean, we've seen clients getting rejected 8-9 times before even seeing a successful application. But a lot of people have to consider one thing though. I say don't just consider the current application is being submitted. However, they're going to review the past few applications at the same time.
Yeah.
So if you're going to submit the same documents over and over again, the same ones, there's no changes in your profile, of course, you'll likely get rejected over and over again.
But that being said, rejection is common. So don't get fazed by it. I think part of it is also grit. Yeah. So it's pretty common, 4 to 5, and they get approved afterwards. It happens.
So, Abigail, what are the top 5 mistakes you see in applications and what are easy to fix?
So here are the top mistakes we see all the time. So one is generic profiles. And when I say generic, I mean that when you compare yourself with somebody who else is about the same as you, what makes you different or special? We do factor in how you compete, right? So that's one. Weak or irrelevant documentation. So sometimes people just slap on random documents. We see that all the time. Sometimes we have to rein the client back and say, cut it off. So the rest is okay, but this is maybe a bit too much.
For example, I saw a recommendation letter recently. I love Singapore because it's clean and I love the chicken rice.
Let's just stick to the most impactful stuff. Another one is incomplete documents, which is pretty severe. A lot of people think that it's a thing that they can get over quite easily, but we do see that very often that people do miss a lot of things. And also a lack of I would say connection to Singapore, I suppose. Maybe that's one thing that we do address sometimes during our consults where rootedness is something we take into account.
People sometimes overcomplicate the concept of integration.
Volunteer work, it's the relationships that you have.
Yes.
If you're on a work pass, why would you rely on volunteer work to be your source of integration? To me, it's more about your relationships with people at work and things like
connections built.
Yeah. And that's heavily personal, which is why we usually review case by case. How do you help clients tell their story rather than just upload documents?
Documents show what you've done. Story shows why it matters. We try to use the NAII framework, nationality, age, income and industry as a starting point. Then connect your life and values to Singapore's needs. And that's how approvals tend to happen. So Abigail, what checks do you run internally to avoid simple errors that lead to rejections?
So I think one thing that we have that maybe someone filling out the application by themselves won't get the chance to do, we've got people that review everything several times. I suppose if you want to know a practical thing that can be done to avoid rejection is you should prepare everything in advance. So don't set up the portal, fill up everything, and then try to dump all the documents and information there. Try to set it aside one time, run through it, put it aside. That's what we do for our clients.
I think profile consistency also is quite important. I think one of the common things that we see whenever we apply is like inconsistency of the client's name, for example.
And SSOC as well. Yeah. So if let's say you're filling up your employment history right into the ICA portal, you're going to miss out the potential of like showing level of work that you're doing is changing. That if you just had the chance to see it in one list, you could have prevented that. So I think that's one thing that we do that is a bit different. How should applicants use public forums like Reddit and Quora? Are they helpful or harmful?
Well, I think it's the same thing as using ChatGPT when you apply for Singapore PR. It's not going to be accurate. It's not going to be the answer that you might want. It is good in a sense that you're hearing experiences from other people.
Yeah.
Because even there are good and bad experiences. For example, working with the right agency. I do enjoy looking into those kind of forums and hear what are their experiences.
For me, it's different though. I think I'm scared of Xiao Hongshu. If you're on that, do like sometimes, take things with a pinch of salt as well. Especially with something as serious as, your application. This is about you. So
I hear a lot of misinformation. You might do things unnecessary that might end up still getting rejected when you do this.
I think always defer, the best source would always be the ICA site. As much as possible, stick with the content that you get from there. But if you hear any contextual advice, you can take it with a pinch of salt. Sometimes it might be good, sometimes it might backfire. So just look into it as best as you can. Okay, so what's one honest piece of advice you wish every applicant would hear before they begin their PR or citizenship journey?
Well, I feel that no one has a perfect profile. Some people, they actually delay on applying because they are figuring out the best profile possible. The fear of rejection, the only way to see success is by trying, and of course, seeking for the right person for advice.
Yeah, and I think it doesn't hurt if you get rejected. It's fine. You can try. Don't be afraid of failure. Yeah. So getting PR is all about having the right systems in place. When you know what ICA values, everything becomes easier. Once again, I'm Abby.
And I'm Lucas.
And we're from Heritage Immigration.
Subscribe if you want simple and practical insights regarding how to be a PR or Singaporean. And share this video with someone who is thinking of applying or currently applying.